Hey, how's everybody doing? This is Pastor Michael Bailey. Look, I was reading in the Word of God the other day about how when it talks about laying up your treasures here on earth, the Lord our God tells us, and Jesus is talking in Matthew 6, we'll start at 19. He says, lay not for yourselves treasure upon the earth where moth and rust corrupt and thieves break in and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasure in heaven where moth and rust don't corrupt and thieves do not and break through and steal. And so I was wondering, okay, like how, Lord, how do you lay up your treasures in heaven? You gotta lay them in heaven, but not on earth. How do you do this? How do we go about doing this, Lord? I need to know. And so as I'm reading over in Matthew 19, he shows us through the principle of the rich young ruler, through the principle of the rich young ruler. And he tells him, he said, look. You go to Matthew 19:21. He said, look, have a yard sale. That's right, have a yard sale. Go have a yard sale. And this is Matthew 19:21. He said, if thou be perfect, he said perfect. If you want to be perfect because you kept all the commandments, from your youth and up, you kept all, but one thing you lack, sell. If you want to be perfect, man of God, woman of God, if you want to be perfect, have a yard sale. Sell what you got, give to the poor, and follow me. Now, notice, he didn't tell the man, a guy, he didn't tell him, he didn't say, liquidate your bank account. He didn't say, liquidate your bank account. He just said, give to the poor. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, shall men give into your bosom. But we notice that the man was sad at that saying, as the word of God said. He was sad at that saying. I noticed over in Proverbs, because I wrote this in my Bible, Proverbs 18, and I believe it's 11. It said that the rich man in his wealth, it's like a strong city. I gotta paraphrase it, y'all. The rich man in his wealth is like a strong city, and it's like a high wall in his own conceit. The rich man in his own wealth, the rich man in his wealth is like a strong city and like a high wall in his own conceit. And conceit in the Hebrew, his imagination, his riches. It's like a stronghold in his mind, like he'll never be touched, right? So the Lord our God, what he's telling us in this principle is in order to store the riches up in heaven, we have to give to people, y'all. You gotta give. And the Lord, he tells us that he'll repay us. Not only that, he'll repay us on this earth, and we got treasures in heaven by giving to our fellow man. We have to give. So that is the journey I went through in the Word of God. How do you lay up treasures in heaven? You have to give to people because they're earthly treasures in the earth. They're vessels in the earth. So you give to people in this earth and you store up treasure in heaven. I just wanted to tell y'all that this is Pastor Michael Bailey. I'm taking off. Be blessed. Yes, and amen.